I was requested to do a metagame discussion, and I don't know if people are going to like my opinion on this. It's whatever, but I was requested to cover one for BCS Chicago coming up literally before set 5, which means the last thing that we're going to get is Dimensional Robo before that set. Suki's not going to be viable. As much as I'd love to see Suki running around, yeah, there's a good, it's not legal. Like, sorry, it's the week before, but I'll do a post set 5 premium breakdown as well. But this is the metagame for premium format. Robbie, talk about standard. No thanks. Premium only for now. Alright, let's dig on into that, shall we? Alright, so let's talk about premium format and the projected metagame, what you're going to be seeing, things like that. So the first big thing is going to be Token Rush. Now you have to understand that this is a very easy deck for players to pilot. You have a deck that is able to put these large columns on the field. First stride, you're swinging for literally 40, 50,000. Most decks aren't going to be able to handle that. You know, we're in a really big grade 2 game right now, and the format has shifted very much towards this point where you're like, oh, you kill on first stride. If you don't connect that first killing stride, you're going to be in a really bad position. Yes, Katrina can blow through an entire player's hand, or you're just walling them through for damage. A lot of the current builds that we've seen have cut draw PGs. We're not playing any PGs in the deck. We're 12 crit, we bomb. That's more of the standardized metagame. I know players do look for innovation and things to kind of change up the way that they're going with the deck, which is understandable. It's fine to always have tech choices. You've had sub builds that are playing Blue Asha still. You have diversity in terms of your deck building, which is pretty cool. I will say that. So Token Rush is going to be one of those decks that is going to just push you to the limit. You're going to be very frustrated in the matchup because it's literally what the deck does. It's very aggro, it's very easy, it goes. Now, that being said, next up on the list is OTT. Oracle Think Tank, you have Ishki Tom, you also have the new promo that just came out of Shop Challenge, which in combination with Bobo looks to ping the opponent for damage. Which, okay, so you ping yourself. You're like, oh, I hit the critical trigger. You give it to your Vanguard. Well, since you're on the guy that turned off, your opponent's auto abilities, you're like, oh, that's pretty good. And you wail on your opponent. That's literally what the deck does while denying them. Now, you don't even need Silent Tom for that. Silent Tom, I think, just kind of win more. I think I've heard a lot of players talk about that, actually. The fact that Silent Tom kind of just feels like a win more card, yeah. In the Protect matchup, yeah, Silent Tom, not so good, because your opponent can just throw down the perfect marker, and you're like, oh, well, what do I do? So, the deck is so, what's the word I'm looking for here? No matter what really happens in the situation, their game plan doesn't really get interrupted unless you're just being massively aggro. And once again, we come back to that point of being in the grade 2 format right now, where these decks really are powerhouses, and it's pretty crazy just kind of see, I don't know, like an aggro deck can just put OTT face down, and it's crazy to see this change in the metagame perspective. And OTT is good, but like a good aggro deck like Katrina walking in, like, yeah, Katrina can get blown out, but like those two seem to check each other pretty well. So I don't know. There's that. Now, you also have Luard over here. Now, if you're no stranger to the format, you know that Luard has evolved. Solemn's been testing new theory with it. Ryan Kai's been testing new things as well from what I've seen. We're pushing more back to the old Luard now. The old Luard, for literally his ability, is what we're looking for at this point. Now, the deck is still very much Ritual Turbo. You snap your fingers, you plow through your deck. Literally, we make the joke when the deck takes a 10-minute turn, but it is literally the deck that is going to keep plowing itself. You high roll for the domain. If you get to the domain, you're good to go. Literally. And Morfessa, the Stride, the good thing. Can't remember its name ever, but being able to force the 2 to guard and give everything crit, that was a little bit ridiculous. Alright, that was a power-up I didn't actually expect them to give to the deck, but be very aware of what that deck will do, because left field, it comes in like a train and you're just like, oh my, well then, I guess I lose now. Now, in the category of high roll, we have Maximus Ezel. So, Ezel, you look at your opening 5, you don't see Bowmains, you slap them back under the deck, you draw 5 again. This deck got a huge boost off of Oxel 2, because now every circle I make, I get to draw a card. Alright, every Wonder Ezel we put on the field, every Ravenhair I counterblast, just turns into a draw 1 and create an extra circle. It is insane how crazy this is. But once again, you're this high roll deck. You literally are the definition. Did I get it? Does your opponent understand not to give you 2 damage? Because if I go into the turn and I have 2 damage and I have Hoels that keep coming up, I'm going to just keep countercharging and I'm going to be able to do my whole thing. You know, it just takes 2 counterblasts to stride, generate another board. The deck is, I think the deck is one of the best in the format. I'd almost put it as like the best, but I don't think that's correct, because while I can spam a field, I don't really leave a lot in my hand, which means Katrina or anything like that. The deck is, you have to go first. Going second, it's not so good. But it really depends on your matchups. So those are really what I would consider the big 4. Now on the back burner, we have Bermuda Triangle. And I think a lot of Bermuda players will understand when I say this. Your deck kind of got power crept. With the new level that we added into it, I'm not saying that Bermuda is terrible now. No. I'd say that Bermuda's dropped down to about the 1.5 range. It's kind of in the same position as Gridora right now. The deck is good. In the matchups, it's good in. But outside of that, you kind of find yourself in a really weird place. I don't know. Bermuda's first stride just isn't good. You have to literally roll to get to your stride. You have to hit, if you don't hit the Riviere to start everything, you're just like, it's not much you can do. You really do have to roll for the superior ride. So I think that deck just kind of has gotten naturally checked. Granted, when you have Ezel just doing his thing every single turn, there's not a lot you can do with it. So there's that. Now, in the same category, I said we have Gridora. Now, Gridora's early game is very hit or miss. If the deck is able to aggro, you'll do your thing. But grade 2 game, once again, I keep bringing this up. We're in that very heavy grade 2 format right now. Sabri's called, by the way. Guys, he just wants to let you know that he does exist and that you're welcome to call on him whenever you need. So we're at this point right now in the game that, yeah, if Gridora gets blown out in the grade 2 game, what is she supposed to do? I mean, if she's getting aggro, your opponent's already got a full field, and you're just like, well, if you can't hit the stride and you're already being pressured out of your hand, that's the thing. Now, if you can counter it, if you can somehow survive well at 5 damage and you hit that stride and you connect it, you're probably going to be in a good position. It's pretty crazy to actually see the craziness that actually connects when Gridora goes to do her thing. So I would say in that category, Gridora and Bermuda are more presentable in that. Now, in the decks, just because I haven't talked about something doesn't mean that it's not there. Gear Chronicle, we're going to run through everything I can remember off the top of my head because I didn't make notes for this video. So Gear Chronicle, tier like 2 to 3, yeah, you still have the time leap turn. The heritage, loop it, it's okay. Dark Irregulars are okay. We had the list that came out of Japan a while ago that players were testing. It's really cute. Alright, it doesn't do a lot. Alright, I get it. You want DI to be a deck, Darkness Shahara, it's okay, but it's not fantastic. We have D-Robo, One Punch Man, the deck. Will be getting their support legal for this event as well, which changes a little bit. You just kind of have to be careful of D-Robo because you can get One Punch Demand for like 90,000, and if you don't have a PG and they've got the crit and they're restanding with the new support, you're kind of just like, uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. Kagero with the end is very cute. I'd say the deck's more like tier 2-ish. The deck has a lot of problems. It's kind of up in the air. It's kind of just dependent on your matchups. It's more like a turn 5, turn 6 deck, and you're not getting that in some games. Now, before Austin reams me for forgetting, we also have Victor. Now, here's the thing with Victor at the moment. Victor is a very cute deck. All right, you get the game going long enough, you produce your board, you slam 8 drive check guy, you're going to be in a good position. All right, and I respect that. I really do. But it's too frail. And while the deck does have a lot of cool things it can do, you're just losing to these more powerful aggro decks. I'd honestly put the deck in about the Gradora category. You're a very good 1.5 deck. Absolutely you are. You can do a lot of cool things, but like, you just fail so hard. Now that being said, poor Narukami, you're like the lowest tier deck. I just want Narukami to be good. Narukami players, I feel you guys. I want to be good, but it doesn't happen. Pale Moon, same thing. Grand Blue, Aquaforce Rush can be good. A good Aquaforce player on a good hand can make the deck like tier 0. All right, it's just, you're like when you're playing the deck. It's kind of how it works. So, I don't know, those are my thoughts on the metagame right now. I honestly hope that this answers questions. You still got Wiseman in the metagame too, I can't forget him. Because Wiseman's kind of that deck that you're just like, huh, how much? 70,000, you're restanding 8 times? No guard? And you're just like, well, why did the game get to this point? And you're just like, well, I didn't have anything to do. So, I don't know. There's a lot of things kind of changing, but really final thoughts there. It's getting grade 2 game. We're very heavy in the grade 2 game at the moment. I know we've gotten roasted in our comment video, in the comments. People are like, oh, why are you staying at grade 2 and not riding? Because that's the way the format is right now. You have to understand from a competitive player base, competitive standpoint, like if you rush, you're just like, why ride and lose myself the game to the first stride when I can force you to make the bad decision so I may have a chance to win? So it's all part of the game. Don't hate it, just play it. Alright guys, catch you on the flip side. Peace out.
That's not all, card fighters. Please subscribe for more Cardfight Vanguard content. Please remember to check out MCole40 for Yu-Gi-Oh videos, and please check out MColeGames.com, my store, along with No Limit Gaming, NLGTCG.com for all of your guys' trading card game needs as well. Until next time, guys, remember to hit that subscribe button. Later.